I fled from Syria in January 2013 to Lebanon with my wife and little daughter. In Lebanon, I stayed for 3 years, also as a refugee. I was active in doing some projects, mainly as volunteering opportunities, and also co-founded high quality education centers close to the camps for refugee children out of school. And when I arrived in Lebanon, actually, I was more into entrepreneurship and management, which actually came by default because this was not my plan. But somehow, when you have the passion and probably the, let's call it like natural skills of leadership or management, and one day, like I always tell this to some people, that I woke up in Lebanon and found myself leading 120 people and have 2,500 children in these schools. Like, okay, how did I build this? It was just like the passion and that you are thinking, problem solving, finding solutions. Things became dangerous, and Lebanon was not a place to stay. And that's the moment when I received a call from UNHCR that my profile is being considered for resettlement. And then after also a few months, it worked out, and I came to Switzerland for 24th of November 2015. When I came to Switzerland, like most of the refugees, they have this feeling of being lost. Like, what should we do? When we were in our countries, we were like probably famous or known for something, and almost everyone knows about us. But the moment you leave your city, nobody knows you out there, because like this is your community. And then when you leave this community, you are probably like nobody knows about you. Maybe you are nothing for them. They don't care. And that's when you feel like, okay, it's starting again from scratch. And you need to choose again, like, what is the smart field that you are passionate about and you would love to do. And that for me, it was like IT. I really wanted or loved to do something in IT. I was lucky to have this luck and just randomly be selected for resettlement. So I was also thinking, what should I do? And should I go to university, study, continue education, and so on? And that's the moment when I received a flyer from my social assistant. And they both recommended me to apply for Powercoders, as they said, like, this is a new project starting. They have a pilot. And then I applied for that pilot as well. I was one of the 15 selected participants out of 120. That's actually also where the whole journey started. When I got into Powercoders, I did the bootcamp. I actually have a good relation also with the whole team. I was talking to Christian Herzig about, like, why don't we bring this project to other countries? Because why do we wait until people become refugees to offer them opportunities? I wanted to go and study in Geneva because I wanted to help people, but then he told me, like, okay, you can join Remotecoders and you can help people faster instead of going and sitting 10 years somewhere. I did an internship with a Swiss company. That was a proposal from Chris. It was great experience for me. It's the exposure. I had the first business exposure working with Swiss people in a Swiss company, and eventually returned to Powercoders as operational lead. We did quite an amazing job. We ran around 15 projects. With COVID hit, I also was still at Powercoders, but we realized that we can also start a new model, remote internships. And we did a pilot phase, a test, that was actually supported by the Swiss embassy in Ankara, and it was very successful because we managed to offer remote internships for our talents. And that's the moment when Chris and we decided to co-found or start Remotecoders with a new model that is different from Powercoders. We always tell the story that Powercoders is our history. It's actually where the whole journey started, and also where my dream to build Remotecoders was on the scope. Not going too much into details, but it's just in a nutshell. As a refugee, my journey also started with Powercoders as the platform where we launched this whole thing, and we started to also think big. How can we bring this project to other countries? We did several pilots, and it ended up with building really a nice model like Remotecoders, which is a win-win-win, because Remotecoders is a one solution for three problems. And the first problem is the lack of IT talents in general for Europe, or also Swiss companies. So we support companies to get the talents they are looking for and they lack. And the second thing is migration. So doors are being closed slowly. You need to find a solution. And with this model, you are migrating jobs to the people, where you provide perspective and support the people to stay close to their families and with their culture and with their people. So it's also very powerful because you are supporting at the same time the local social economical impact you are creating there, and these people are making much higher impact with staying close to their being role models in their communities as well. If we talk about integration, is that people are working, paying their taxes, part of the community, speak the language to a certain level. They have built a new life. Especially, I have two daughters, and they actually grew up here. So when we arrived to Switzerland, one was 4 years old, and the other one was 3 months old. So they don't know like anything outside of Switzerland. And now they are 13 years and 10 years, and for them, Bern is their home. When we started the project in Turkey, at that moment, I've been working with Powercoders for 4 years or like 3 years and a half, and being really close to Swiss people, working with them, adapting to several teams, because when we went to different cities, we always have to build a new team. And I was the only stable employee in these cities, traveling around Switzerland with Powercoders. That also gave me lots of exposure, and also to understand more, like also several characteristics of Swiss people, also different type of personalities. So when we went to Turkey for the first pilot, I was criticized by the local team in Turkey that you are too Swiss. So they thought like, okay, I have the same background. I came from Syria, Middle Eastern, but then they realized, oh, he's very strict on time and planning, and like, what's like, you are too Swiss. Then they wanted me to be a little bit more tolerant and more like, and that's actually the thing I have also to recall from my background, because in Lebanon, this was my management style. Like I was more tolerant and close to the people, and that's actually when I realized I was too much integrated probably at some point. And doing this project like Remotecoders, you have to be in the balance between the two cultures. I think also one of the things that helped a lot with the faster or good integration is the culture at Powercoders, because you have job coaches, you have volunteers who come to train, and then you always have these activities when you go out for lunch or you go do something. So you feel you talk to lots of people, you learn from them, they learn from you. So it's really like an open and a supportive culture as well. Such projects also, they teach people how to understand each other, how to work with each other, how to respect each other, and how even like to bring the best out of each other.